Good afternoon. Before we start to study about the interrogative determiner which, we will study about the comparison between the two interrogative determiners, and we will study about the introduction of the interrogative determiner which. The first conference with the interrogative determiner whose is this? Whose item is this? The speaker who applies the interrogative determiner whose intends to know about the subject that the object item belongs to. And we admit that the subject who can own an object is a person. So we are able to understand that the listeners who are going to respond from this question answer with the possessive determiner, like this is his item, this is her item, this is your item, like this. Okay, let's read the explanation under the first conference. Because the range of the subject indicated by the noun item is specified by the interrogative determiner whose, the specified subject belongs to a subject that is a person or not a person. The possessive determiner conveys the information that the subject of belonging is able to be another subject that is not a person, because another subject of belonging is able to belong to the other subject that is a person. This is the explanation about the indirect belonging. Even when an object that is not a person belongs to a subject that is not a person, it's okay, because the subject that is not a person belongs to the other subject who is a person. This is obvious. The second conference is this. What item is this? Because the speaker who applies the interrogative determiner what applies the interrogative determiner what on the premise that the subject indicated by the general noun item indicates a subject that is not a person. And the speaker intends to know about the description to specify the range of the object indicated by the general noun item. Because the range of the subject indicated by the noun item is specified by the interrogative determiner what, the specified subject is not a person. This occurs with the premise to apply the interrogative determiner what. The third conference that the interrogative determiner which is applied is this. Which item is this? The speaker who applies the interrogative determiner which already sets the predetermined range of the subject indicated by the general noun item. Like there are some options that can occurred with the subject this. Because the range of the subject indicated by the noun item is specified by the interrogative determiner which, the number of the specified subject is determined and specified again by the description of the be verb in the interrogative clause. For example, if a speaker asks a question like this, which season do you like? then the speaker applies the interrogative determiner which because the number of the season is approximately limited to the number of 4. And the speaker predetermined the range of the subject, like spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The listeners who were asked by this question may specify one of the seasons. This means that the object described by the interrogative determiner which is specified again by the description in the clause. Which season do you like? The season that the listeners like is finally specified as the response from the interrogative clause. Then from now on, we will study about the interrogative determiner which. Before the interrogative determiner which, describes a noun or a pronoun. The range or number of the subject or the object is already determined by the speaker as a premise to apply the interrogative determiner which, firstly, like the season. Secondarily, the speaker specifies the range or number of the subject or the object, which is already determined with the description of the interrogative clause. In the clause, which season do you like? The season that the listeners like is ultimately, finally, or consequently specified one of the seasons that the speaker intends to know about. There are 3 examples. Let's study with these 3 examples. The first one is this. Which way is his? In this clause, the interrogative determiner which is applied to describe the subject way. And as the speaker applies the interrogative determiner which, the listeners, we can assume, we can think, we can get the prior information that the number of the subject indicated by the general noun way is already determined. And the interrogative determiner which and the general noun way form a phrase of a general noun way to become the subjective complement that describes the subject in a way to define the subject, his. And the subject, his, is classified one of the possessive pronoun that indicates an object that belongs to a male who does not participate in the conversation between the speaker and the listeners. The second example is this. Which person gifts the precious one? In this clause, the combination, the phrase of the general noun which person has the role of the subject to start and give the definition of the transitive verb gift to the object, the precious one. And as the speaker applies the interrogative determiner which, we can get the prior information that the number of the person is limited, predetermined or set. In the third example, the phrase of the general noun person. Which person has the role of the subject? Oh, I'm sorry. The role of the object to receive the definition of the transitive verb love from the subject Jesus Christ. Let's start to study with the first example.